Hello everyone and welcome back again. Now in this lesson we're going to continue working on our address book application in order to complete it. I believe in this lesson or probably the next one we're going to complete the whole thing, and then we're going to go on to the bonus lesson which is going to cover up saving and opening the files, so saving your contact.txt file and opening contact.txt file, but this is going to be another topic. So basically the application, as far as we have done it, I haven't touched the whole code at all. I've just added some comments to the code, since I'm actually planning to upload it along with the material once I finish the whole video. I'm gonna actually upload the whole thing, so I added comments in case for you guys who love to print out the code and then read it along, like on bed or something like that, just instead of following up, like the practical, like writing down the code on the screen. Let's carry on our duties, and let me hit F7, or excuse me, Shift F7. Give it a second to update, and there's our form. Now I reserved this part of the form in order to add a data grid, but for now I'm gonna hold on this thought for a moment, and then I'm gonna actually try to starting with add, remove, and finding a contact. Now I was thinking like it would be an interesting idea, like to show the same form for adding or removing for removing a contact or finding a contact, because the idea is basically the same. Let me show you what I mean. So first of all, what I was planning to do is, once I hit the edit button, once I hit the remove or find a contact, I will show up a form. Alright, and when we're gonna remove a contact, all the time, for example, we need to find it first. So I'm gonna anyway try to find it, and once I find it, I'm gonna try to delete it. Now always when we are removing a contact, we were removing it by the nickname according to our code, which we wrote down there. Let me just double check that again. So yes, we have only one function which removes a single contact using its nickname. Okay, so removes contact by nickname. As for finding, we find using the we usually find a contact by a nickname or by a family name. So basically, remove a contact in an essence, it's somewhat a limited feature or an expanded feature over the searching or finding a contact. So I'm gonna try to add one more Windows form. Let me pin this one out. And in order to add one more Windows form, all I'm gonna do is just right click on the project over here and say add, and I'm gonna add a new Windows form. Now of course the message of the new item pops up, and here I'm gonna add frm find remove contact. So find remove, I'm gonna just leave it like that. I'm gonna hit add. Now we're gonna be rewarded with a fresh clean a form, and then we're gonna add couple controls on them. And in order to do that, I'm gonna since we're gonna search something, we're gonna need something to show up with the results. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna grab a let me grab first a group box. It would be much more interesting. And I'm actually gonna neglect completely the menus here. So I'm gonna choose this group box. I'm gonna hit F4, and down there we have docking. I'm gonna dock it to the top. The text value for this group box is gonna be I'm gonna hunt for the text value here, and I'm gonna call it find or search contact or find contact. Okay, because anyway, when you are trying to remove a contact, we just need to find it first, right? And the also interesting concept which I would like to add is just the keyboard shortcut keys. So once I show up the form, okay, so this form, once I'm gonna show it up, I'm gonna actually find the contact. Once I select it from a data grid view, I'm gonna just hit the delete button, and then the contact should be deleted from my contact list. So we're gonna actually implement that. Now I'm gonna, first of all, this FRM find remove. Now please do not deliver me your seminars with something like that. So please keep it like find remove contact. I would prefer to do it like this, or if you would like to, we can even add a little bit more overhead to this form, where for example the once we, for example, doing like follows, if if we select remove contact, then we're gonna just simply name the form over here. This text is gonna be remove contact, and if we select it from the main menu, find the contact, this is gonna be changed into a find contact, and then we can actually even play with a couple controls here, disable, enable couple controls. For example, you cannot remove a contact by a family name, you can only remove it by a nickname, so we have to disable that family name, which we're gonna do in fact right away while we are at it. So first, let's put the text box where we're gonna actually put our terms of search, label. In the properties of this label, the text should be search and colon, and the text box, I'm gonna stretch it right like so. If you want to, you could, for example, like maximize it like so, and then we have to add 2 radio buttons. Okay, each radio button represent searching by nickname or searching by a family name. Okay, so here's a radio button F4. This is gonna be radio button. This is gonna be nickname or search. I could like just say by nickname, or let's just make it smaller, and this is gonna be like by family name. Okay, and let me rename these controls. Since I'm gonna access them from code, I'm gonna just say rd nickname. Let me just make this small n, and this is gonna be rd family name. Alright, well, we can like play with the organization a bit. It's up to you guys right now, but I usually prefer like to put it somewhere here, like both of them on the side. You could figure out a better variation, but right now I'm not thinking of any, so I'm gonna just keep it like so. Okay, let me save this. Now let me put another group box. Where is it? There you go. And I'm gonna put the text there as well, results. Oh, sorry, that was the name of the control. I'm just gonna put this results. Okay, and let me put this, dock this to the top, or even to fill, because I'm gonna fill the whole form with whatever left of this group box. I'm gonna actually dedicate later a lesson for docking and anchoring and all these features. So just do, if you are implementing by my side right now, like seeing what I'm doing in the video and implementing it in the same time, just do what I'm doing until there's gonna be upcoming a video just showing to you how to do anchoring and how to stretch forms, and when they stretch appropriately and so on. We're gonna cover that later on, don't worry. Let me add the data grid view, and of course I'm gonna put it to fill. And by the way, if you can notice, I already put it inside the results group box. Okay, and let me even expand this a little bit. And as you can see, when I expanded it, my nickname and my text box has been unchanged. So I'm gonna just grab them and put them there. Later on, I'm gonna show you how to anchor the stuff, and this everything gonna be automated. So basically, as far as I can see here, this is gonna be completely enough for the purpose of for the purpose of this form, so or the functions which we want to implement. Basically, I will, while I'm searching, while I'm typing, this list has to be filtered automatically. Okay, and if I don't type anything in there, it should represent all the text, all the contacts I have in here as well. And when I check search by nickname or search by family name, by the way, I'm gonna just leave one by default is checked. So if you choose a nickname, for example, I would like to make the nickname by default is checked, because either when you are finding or you are deleting a contact, most of the time you're going to be hunting for a nickname. Family name is going to be a second, something like optional. So I'm going to set this guy by default as checked. So once the form is shown, I get this one checked. So how do I do that? Select the nickname control, this radio button, which is called my nickname, and you go to the property called checked and just set it to true, and it's going to be checked all the time. Now, before I implement anything, let me try first to show this form. So when I hit edit, and let's say for now I'm just going to implement it for this remove contact. Oh, I forgot to, let me just undo this. Let me grab, I like to name all my buttons, to be honest. I don't want to fall into this. This is gonna have mn remove contact. Double click on this one, and there you go, we have a nice name for it. Alright, so in order to show a new form, you have two ways of doing this. Way number one is showing it as a normal form, and let me show you what does that mean. So frm find remove. Always when you are trying to show a form, you have to create a new object of it and then show it. So frm equals to new find remove. So we created a new object of my form, which I have it over here. This one, I just created a new object of it, and then I'll just say frm.show, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Now if I hit Control F5, and if I'm trying to say edit remove contact, there you go, this is my form. Now watch this. The difference between show and another one which is called show dialog. Now with show, when I call just say form.show, if I click here, I can do whatever I want, right? I can do whatever functionality I want here. But if I don't want to do that, if I would like that the user will be focused only here and cannot go to this form unless he finishes his job with this one, you have to call show dialog. Now if I run this application again, file, edit, remove contact, and if I try to like click over here, it's impossible. Okay, so basically, and of course as you can see here, I got this checked by default, so this is a really nice feature I have. So right now I can do whatever I want and then search over here. So let me close this and close this one. Now there's one more thing. When we are trying to and I'm actually, by the way, I'm gonna actually keep it that way, just because I don't want the user to wander again back and just leave this window open. Just whenever you finish finding or removing, just remove the thing and then just close. So finish the function which you want to do and then close the form so you can revert back to the application. So I'm gonna keep that scenario like this. If I would like to use the same functionality, like if I would like, for example, to say edit and find contact, I'm gonna call this code again. Now here is a small trick which we usually use, which is called event channeling. Okay, let me first rename this menu item to something useful or something meaningful, if you will. So it's gonna be mn find contact, and let me double click this one. And in mn find contact you have two options: either just copy paste this code like this, or you could just simply channel the event and call the other function. So what do I mean by that? I can just simply copy this, paste it over here, and I just say sender e, and that's it. So whatever event I have done over here, because well, basically, let's say I'm clicking on a menu. Who is actually, so object sender, you can think of it as who is actually made that event happening, and the event argument, what kind of an event. So if I use the mouse to click on a menu, it will say the sender, let's say for example, he is actually a mouse, and the event argument is left mouse button click. So he will just grab this, the sender, and grab the event type, and he will just simply call and just simply pass it to this guy, and of course he will immediately call this function automatically. So let me show you how this will affect our application. So right now, if I say edit remove contact, we get this, this menu, and if we say edit find contact, I get this form again. Okay, so this is called channeling your events. Now, one more thing as well to do. Since I'm gonna actually use the same two menus in order to represent one single form, now for us as a programmers, we see this as, yes, we see it as a single form, but for the user, we don't want to confuse the guy a lot. For finding a contact, usually you either search by a nickname or a family name, but when you are deleting, you are always deleting by a nickname. So this guy is going to be disabled. So there has to be some way of telling the other form that I am actually gonna find something or remove something. So we have to transfer some certain data or some certain information to the other form. Now, there are a lot of ways to do this, and there are a lot of, complicated or overhead stuff that we can add, and just to make it as smart as possible, we can make our own class that just holds the only the data which we would like to send to the other forms, and of course this is going to be brilliant. But since I'm, by the way, this code and this program which you see, the code itself is more like on educational level, not on industrial level. So it's not industrial level kind of code, because this code could be even much more optimized and much more, like there are a lot of layers could be added in order to make it much more professional and so on. So I'm gonna try to keep this as flat as possible. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna add a Boolean variable, and I'm gonna just call it is removing. Alright, this is removing is gonna just check if I am really removing or not. Now here's the thing, I'm gonna go and modify the constructor of this form to accept one more small variable. So I'm gonna hit F7 on this guy, and as you can see here, here's my constructor. I'm just gonna play with it, but because there's only a single constructor over here, there's no let me show you, there's no constructor in the designer. You see, there's only one single constructor in here, so it's not replicated over the partial classes, because of course it will be ridiculous. Now I'm gonna come here and just say bool, and I'm gonna call here state or user choice or whatever, or is removing. I could yeah, let me put it like user choice. Now I'm gonna come here and just put a small variable which is gonna hold this Boolean variable. So bool is removing. I'm gonna call it is removing as well, but it is completely different. Okay, let me try to do it in another way. Like, let's say I'm gonna call it user choice on a different letter. So I'm just gonna try to differentiate this from the other ones, so it will not be confusing for you guys. And always try just do everything which you want to do after initializing the components. So after initializing components, you can do whatever you want. This is your playground. So I'm gonna just say this dot user choice equals to user choice, for which I'm gonna pass over here. Now of course this is gonna be a problem in my code right there. So I'm gonna pass in here if I am removing a contact. So this dot is removing equals to true, because I am removing a contact. So I'm gonna here have is removing, and or I could just simply say true here, and it will just simply go. But let me keep this thing as flat as possible again. As for right now, after doing this, this one is gonna fail, unless of course you would like to put a couple if statements and so on, which I really don't want to overhead this again. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it over here. Okay, and this dot is removing equals to false. Now alternatively, if you why I copied and paste this, because I didn't want to do this. So and it's possible, and it's of course possible if you would like to do it. So if is removing, then I'm just gonna do this, else do that, excuse me, then this is gonna be true, else shift home, control V, this is gonna be false, and what else? Okay, and of course I'm gonna just simply erase this, and here, and of course right now this is gonna be okay. This is right now I have to separate into a separate function and so on, but basically this is what I was in fact planning to do. So you have an if, a small if statement that controls, you know, like if it is removing, if it is not, and so on and so forth. So this guy should be like separated into small function. So private show find remove, I'm just gonna put here. So control C, let's see, variable, whatever. This is for demonstration purposes only, Boolean variable. So, and it is void. Okay, and let me see here what's wrong. Yes, it's already in the same scope, so I have to like, it doesn't matter, I'm just gonna name this one and this two. I mean, it will not make any difference, at least it shouldn't be. Well, okay, we're gonna cover this later, but in general, this how I pictured it should go, at least like this part should be separate into a separate function, and the other part is just simply holding, if it is removing, then it is really removing, and then call up that function right away without even a Boolean variable. I just can look at is removing, and that's it. Okay, so of course I can erase this as well, and at the end, of this, just simply show frm dot show dialog at the end. This is how it should be done. If I would like to use the easiest way of handling it instead of having a redundant code. Okay. Now, excuse me because I'm really annoyed with this code. Let me just try to do this. So, because I'm really not comfortable with having really easy errors that could be fixed in a second. There we go. Okay, error fixed. We are fine. So this is like another way of solving this problem instead of copying and pasting the code again. Now of course I'm gonna do this. I have to call show remove form, show find remove over here. Now if you would like to see the effect, we can come over here and I'm just say after initializing components, so if user choice, so if it is true, so if we are really removing a contact, then this.text equals to remove. Okay, else I'm gonna copy this, find contact, this is gonna be contact, and then control F5 this. Now watch it. So address book, find, so remove a contact, you see, here you go, remove a contact, edit, find a contact, and immediately it gives me as well find a contact. So this is like the small things that we added over there. Just we right now easily we created a small form and we send to it some sort of a flag saying if we are really removing or we are really finding a contact through this simple Boolean variable. Now again, if you are trying, for example, to send some sort of more than a single Boolean variable, let's say you are sending a whole other data, probably a combination of booleans and integers and so on. This right now it's really advised to compact this all in a single object, name that object whatever you want, or make this purpose of that class whatever you want, and just simply send it to the other form, which is going to be much more clever to do, much cleverer thing to do. Okay. And to be honest, I'm quite happy with the code right now, how it looks like, so I'm gonna just keep it that way. Just let me go through it if you guys got confusing, because I was like removing and adding the code just really quick. So let me go over it again real quick here. Sorry if I'm bothering anyone who's really got it from the first time. So Boolean is removing. I've done this, I've created this Boolean variable to check if I am actually trying to remove or finding a contact. So I'm saying if I'm removing, so is removing is going to be equal to true. If I am not removing anything, I'm trying just to find someone, then it's going to be equal to false. Now if I'm going to try to remove a contact, once I click on that menu item, I'm going to just say set that removing to true, and then call a specific function which I had. Now this specific function will do is check if I'm really removing a contact, then tell the form that I'm really removing a contact through this true variable which I pass it over here. Okay. If I am not removing a contact, I'm really finding one, then it's gonna be removing is gonna be false, and consequently it's gonna be I'm gonna call the constructor of that form, and I'm just gonna say this is gonna be a false. So I'm not really removing, I'm just finding another contact. And please, by the end, either this or either that, whatever happens, just show the dialog, because in either ways you need really to show the dialog. Okay. Excuse me. So I hope it's really clear by now. And with this I escaped, of course, the redundant code of writing this and writing that again, so I made it a little bit cleaner code. We also agreed, if you remember, that if I am trying actually to remove a contact, then I'm gonna disable the family name, because I'm gonna search only by nickname. So if I come over here and I say if the user choice is true, so if I'm really removing a contact, let me just go here and move up this. By the way, I hit Alt and Up key. So, and by the way, you can do this if you are working in Java and Eclipse. You can do the same trick as well. Like hold on Alt and select a line of code, and just you can, of course, Alt and arrow keys up and down. You can move the code up and down. right now I'm gonna disable the radio button. Now, of course, like any other control in the world of .NET, if you would like to disable a control, you guys just simply hit to RD, so the name of my control, family name, dot enabled equals to false. The same exact code for the button. The button was the button name, whatever it was, enabled equals to false, as we have done it over here, if you remember, somewhere in my code. I believe we've done it when the form was started. You see, here you go, btn add dot enabled equal to false. So the same thing was here. The radio button dot enabled equals to false. That's when we're trying to disable it. Now imagine now once I already finished deleting, what's gonna happen if I'm trying to find? Nothing happens. Just once the user relaunches the form again, everything gonna be by default. So watch this. If I say edit and remove a contact, you see, nickname was enabled, and family name I cannot do anything because I can only remove by a nickname. Now if I say edit find a contact, you see my nickname and family name are enabled, and I can choose whatever I would like from them. Okay. Alright, so we have done this part. Okay, so we are sure right now once we show a form. Now yes, now we need to, in order to implement, we need to implement the event for handling searching. So first of all, I have to add here my using not system, actually using business. Why? Because I'm actually gonna search for a contact. Okay, now it would be a great idea if you create a small object of a contact that just simply a generic one that just holds whatever contact you would like to remove. Okay, and since we are searching by nickname or a family name, both of these values or both of these concepts are already including into the contact class, right? I mean, personal and contact and professional contacts, both of them contain birth date and company name, but both of them they share nickname and family name. So I could safely, without any searching or without any trying to specify, am I trying to remove a personal or a professional contact? I'm just trying to remove a contact in general, or finding a contact in general. So basically I'm gonna just say I'm gonna create a new contact. So I'm gonna call it contact with the small letters, and in my constructor, after checking what I'm gonna do, what I want to do, I'm gonna just say contact, this smaller guy which I have created, equals to new contact, and that's pretty much it. Excuse me. So right now I have a new object of contact just once the form just launches. Now what this gonna be good for me, why I need this. Now watch that. Now in order to, here's the scenario, in order to search, what I'm gonna do is, while I'm typing, so whenever the text inside the text box is being changed, I would like to update my data grid view and show the new results. If you want to, some people say, okay, I would like really not, instead of typing and every time I'm typing, I would like to hit enter. This is as well possible. There's no problems with that. Just the only thing is you have to specify which scenario you are going for, because while searching while typing, it could do a little bit overhead over the system. Let's say you have like million of contacts, and then you have trying to search over them. Now it's going to be a little bit tedious for the computer to search for. Or for example, if you have a database and you have to connect over a certain network, and then you have to search all over these guys on typing, it could have a little bit system overhead. So you have two choices: either to type the text and then hit enter and then get the results, or just while typing we can get the results right away. And in both cases the code is almost exactly, not almost, it's even exactly the same. So let me show you the variation with after typing, hitting the enter key. So if I select the text box and I hit F4. Let me put this text box, let me name it first, txt search. Okay, and let me see over here. In the event, I believe it was key pressed or key down. I believe it was user presses or releases a key. I believe this one was a key press, as far as I remember. I just say, yeah, there you go, a key press event argument. So I'm gonna just say if e.keycode, this is right now, this then for sure it is, because I'm searching for key code, I don't want the key character, to be honest with you. I would like to keep it really as simple as possible again. Sorry for that. Now, it was a key down when a key first pressed, so key event args, so e.keycode, there you go, that's what I'm searching for. So if e.keycode equals keys dot enter, so if I'm really pressing enter, then I'm gonna call up the address book and then just simply erase it. Now we have a small problem. I even just found out right now that we don't have our address book. You see, we have created the address book over here. Where is it? You see, we have created an address book, but how are we gonna remove from it? That's a good question. We need to call it out. So in order to send as well the form the address book, then I'm gonna have to go over there and modify the code or the constructor. So I'm just gonna say here return. Okay, just to eliminate this this error for now. And here I'm gonna add here address book I'm gonna just call it book. Who cares? Now, excuse me. Now in here, I'm gonna just add one more address book. Well, book. Okay, sorry for that. I have to figure out naming for stuff. So address book equals to book. Now, once I remove from it, it's gonna everything gonna be returned back again because I'm referencing to it. Okay, I hope I'm not mistaken. Now, over here, I'm gonna just say the address book dot remove contact, and here, of course, I'm gonna add in a new object of a contact. Now, an object of a contact has been already created. The only thing which I need to do is I have to say this contact dot if I am searching for him for some certain reasons, then I'm just gonna say contact dot nickname. Oh, and by the way, we have to specify am I searching for nickname or not, so this adds a little bit more overhead. So I'm gonna just say once a key code pressed, well, we have to check first, am I searching by a nickname or searching by a family name? So a user choice is actually involved in here. So we have to consider two stuff. First thing is user choice. What did I choose? Did I would like to remove or would like to search for something? And of course I have to take in consideration, did I check the family name or did I check the nickname? So we have to choose both of these guys. Now let me solve this. Now this is gonna be a little bit nested ifs, so bear with me here for now. So if I pressed enter, okay, so in case if I pressed enter on my keyboard, let me show you something here. Let me type here a message box dot show a message, a simple message. I pressed enter key. So just for testing, and apparently I have error. Oh yes, of course. I have to pass in as well my address book, which is this dot I believe address book. So I have forgot to pass this since I modified the constructor. And there we go. Hold on. There we go. Now put this space over here as well, so everything is aligned, and something is wrong over here. Okay, this Visual Studio is joking with me. So Control F5. Now if I say edit, remove a contact, and if I type anything or whatever, I just hit the enter. Just say I press the enter key. If I try to press anything else, let's say the other enter on the numeric pad, then it is, oh, it's working. There you go. I thought it's not working, so I just pressed on it several times, it didn't work. But anyway, so the enter key have the same code for both numeric keypad and the normal enter key. If you would like to specify something else, if you would like to differentiate between the enter key on the numeric pad and the enter key on the normal full-size keyboard, or the normal keyboard in general, then you probably have to hunt for a feature like the key char. So let's say the code, for example, for an enter key is, as far as I remember, it was 13, or escape was like 37 or something like that. So there's already an internet to the table of ASCII code of all the keyboard keys. Okay, let's get back to the subject. So if I pressed enter while I'm searching, so I'm typing something and I would like to search, so I hit enter. Now here I will start investigating. Okay, is the user trying to find something? So if user choice, so if it is actually true, okay, so if the user choice is true, then I'm just gonna say contact dot family name equals to txt search.text. So right now I know for sure that if I'm removing a contact, nickname. Okay, now for sure I know when I'm removing a contact, I'm removing it only using the nickname. So whatever I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna say whatever text I'm typing in here, I know that I'm searching by nickname because I would like to remove something by a nickname, so I have to write really down everything by nickname. Now here is another else. Now else we're gonna have to investigate. So the user choice was actually false, so we're gonna have to say else if rd nickname dot checked. So if this radio button was checked, then just say contact dot nickname equals to this, and if rd dot family name dot checked, then I'm just gonna say contact find by family name. So right now I'm sending a contact, an object contact with a family name only in there. Alright, so let's revise this together. So right now I have pressed the enter on my keyboard. Now the program will say, okay, if I was trying to remove a contact, then there is no need to check if I checked already the radio button of a nickname or a family name or a family name, because when I'm removing only by a nickname. So I immediately say, okay, if the user choice was true, which means I'm removing a contact, then okay, I will just say that the contact which I have initialized over here is gonna have a nickname of whatever I'm gonna type in there, okay, and in my text box, in my text box in the search. Otherwise, if I am actually not choosing to remove and I'm trying to find a contact, then there are two options available. Either I will search by a nickname or by a family name. So this forces me as a programmer to check, okay, did I check the nickname or did I check the family name? If I check the nickname, then just simply say that whatever you type in the contact dot nickname just whatever you type in the search, just put it in the nickname of the contact. What if you checked already the radio button of a family name, take whatever you typed in the text in there in the text box and just put it in the family name. Now of course this could be condensed even more, so you could say like excuse me, you could say like, if this or this was checked, both of them, because this is the same code, if this one was checked. But anyway, I will keep this really as flat as possible, and I don't want to run into any other bugs, so I will keep it as flat and as simple as possible. Yeah, okay, so once I have finished this, right now I'm gonna say, okay, right now if I'm removing, let me just put one more bracket over here. So if I'm removing, I'm gonna just say the address book dot remove contact, and I'm gonna put here the contact which I'm trying to remove, so contact. Okay, and remove contact will immediately grab whatever I have. Okay, so remove contact will just simply grab the nickname, and I will just from the object, and I will just simply work with it. And as for this guy, it's gonna happen exactly the same thing. So let me move this code up, and I'm gonna just say address book find right now, or search by nickname. So here I'm gonna pass in contact. Okay, and if I am actually searching by a family name, let me just move this code upstairs. So address book dot search by family name, and I'm just gonna pass in as well the contact. Okay, so right now with a single key hit I will define if I'm removing. Okay, oh, and by the way, this is bad idea. I would just simply take this out for now. Why? Let me tell you why. Let's say you found a contact. Imagine that you are hitting enter and you didn't know what you are actually erasing. You just even didn't see the guy yet. Probably you're erasing the wrong guy. So this is gonna be a catastrophe for the user. So sorry about this code, sorry about this line of code, and I will actually delay it for now. Just when the user trying to press delete on the data grid view, once he finds it, once he finds an address, excuse me, once he finds a contact, once he hits delete, now we have to tell him, yes, right now you can actually delete that user, or that, excuse me, that contact. Alright, so for now let us just try to do this. Now after I have done all this, I'm just gonna say data grid view, which I haven't named yet, so let me try to name this guy right away. So DGV, and then I'm gonna call this address book, because whatever I'm gonna have here is gonna come from my address book, so I call it like that, DGV address book data source. Sorry, data source. So I'm specifying my data source is gonna be my address book. Now you're gonna see a little bit strange result, but it's okay. We're gonna actually massage this later on, but okay, hang on with me here a little bit. So let me try to add somebody. So I'm gonna add Mohammed, file new, let's say professional contact. So Mohammed, first name Mohammed, family name whatever, so I'm gonna call it Rosette as well. Phone number is gonna be this, email is gonna be okay, and I'm gonna add this little guy. So professional contact added. Oh, I forgot to remove these. I'll remove them later. Let's say I'm gonna have, oh man, well, let's make it a little bit Bosnian, so Sulo, and I'm gonna have as well Muyo. Sorry about that, typical stereotypes. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, the nickname is gonna be the same one, and it's gonna be here Muyo, and then it's gonna be this one, and SM at Fit Tashkaba. That's an amazing one. file new, oops, personal, okay, add personal contact added, and say okay, and let it be so. Now file, find contact, so I'm trying to find a contact over here, and I'm just gonna say Mohammed. If I hit enter, nothing happens. I'm searching by nickname, oops, nothing happens. Now let me debug why this didn't happen. Let me see. Remove a contact, let's hope it didn't have the same bug as well. No, let's try. So as well it's not working, so let me double check the code a little bit. Probably I'm missing something over here. Wow, let me see. Well, let us debug first what we can do here. Let me check first if I really sent the address book. So I'm gonna just say message box.show, and then I'm gonna make sure. I believe I know what is the problem, but it's a good idea for you guys to see the mistakes and how we can actually trace it down. So address book, which I have sent dot address book size, that is a really good function that I left it out there, dot to string, and let's see what will happen over here. So let me try to add someone like this. So file new, we have a personal contact, another professional contact, doesn't matter, so I'm gonna grab as well another one. I'm gonna hit OK, so we have two. So if I trying to remove a contact or edit, it doesn't matter. If I hit enter, okay, so good, we are sending actually the actual address book, so this is great. So we have this by our side. Now let us double check as well my code over here. Now, as I believe is, oh my, well oh man, I'm really sorry about this. In fact, when you are actually assigning a data source to a data grid view, the easiest, I mean, this is the easiest way of assigning data to a data grid view in order to be represented. Now, since I was working all the time with arrays and everything, I completely forgot that an address book is actual class which I have made, and it's custom made, and it's not a list of something. So this is a really bad thing. Now the problem is we have really to return the results which I have found, and probably some of you or most of you have noticed the mistake which I was really doing, and nobody, of course, you know, told me, Mohammed, stop, what the heck are you doing? But anyway, sorry about that, guys. Now, of course, this line of code is completely ridiculous. So basically, a family name returns a list. So if I say here data grid view address book dot data source equals to this one, okay, so if I hit Control F5, let me show you over here. So I'm gonna type someone and new professional contact, and let me type the family name something a little bit recognizable. Now I have only one guy, but it doesn't matter, but just for proving of concept. Now I'm gonna find by family name, and I'm just gonna type Mohammed. Now of course, as you can see, I found the guy with the same family name. Now this could be actually working, but this one, as far as I understood, or as far as I'm expecting, this one won't work. So let's say I have as well somebody, and let it be Mohammed as well. So I'm actually trying to search here by nickname, right? So new whatever contact I would like to have to, and let's try to remove it. So I'm gonna just say Mohammed, and when I hit enter, nothing happens. This is because I'm returning a single object, and I really need to return a whole it's better to be having a whole list of it. So in order to fix that problem, here's what I could do. I could generate a small list for this one. So I could do like this, a small private list of contacts that will hold temporarily whatever contact I find, especially with this one. So I'm gonna just say here, this one returns a contact, right? So if I say temp dot add, I can add this guy over here, and I'm just gonna say temp, okay, because this function returns to me a contact. It is the same equivalent to this contact cont equals to this one over here and cont. This is the exact same equivalent, okay, but since I would like to shorten out my code and, you know, instead of creating unnecessary, you know, references and loops and everywhere, so I've just simply done something like that. Now let us see how we could be benefiting from such a thing. So Muhammad and family name Muhammad as well, whatever number, find, and let us see here. So if I type Muhammad and we are seeking by family name, by nickname, oops, contact doesn't exist, and I even didn't handle that exception, which is, wow, I forgot to do that. But anyway, let me double check. Oh, I haven't added him, sorry about that. So yeah, added contact file, find contact, doesn't matter, find or remove. At the end I need to find him by nickname, so Muhammad. So at the end I'm gonna just say enter, so I found the guy. Okay, that's good enough. Alright, so we could find the guy using a little bit of twisted way, and since this user choice will not be doing so much because well, I have to represent his result as well on my data grid view, so I'm gonna actually call up this guy over here as well. So if I found him, just, you know, like add him there. Now of course there could be raising a lot of questions because my list is being accumulated with a lot of stuff. Let's say I searched for several contacts. Now this list is being just simply up, you know, like added and added and added with a lot of unnecessary contacts I have in here. So the only way to do this, or the best way to face this, is just simply by reinitializing this guy and relying on the garbage collector to just simply like remove that list. Now this is not the most optimized, I know, code. This is not an industrial code, but this is like to solve the problem right there. Okay, so there are a lot of ways, of course, to optimize this code to make it much more smarter than this ugly thing which we have seen, which we are looking at on our screen. Probably in the bonus lessons or something like that, I'll really like re-update, like the whole, rewrite this part, at least this part of the code, because I'm really not comfortable with it at all. But I believe it will not be a problem for now. Just the code will be working and fine, but I as well advise you that it could be good for you as an exercise for you in syntax in C#, that you could try to find out even better ways of handling these issues, like just simply creating a temporary list in order to handle these stuff, and you know, like going around with this stuff. It would be great that you guys come up with your own solution. Feel free, of course, to ask over the forums and send me emails if you got any questions, or if something is not completely clear to you. Now I would just stop right there, just to let everything sink in, like in your brains, and then later on in the next lesson we're gonna come up and continue trying to actually remove a contact, since we already just simply added it. So we're gonna try to implement the part where we select a row and then we just delete whatever contact we have and update, of course, our data grid view. Okay, so thanks a lot for your attention here. See you in the next lesson.